Welcome to the StockMentor.com studios. Here in the Black Hills of South Dakota, I'm your stock mentor, Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. Another sideways day in the markets, finishing about flat. The Dow up a whopping 2 points. Almost not worth it. 2 points on the Dow, zero point 0.6 on the S&P. Now the Nasdaq falling to 7 and about 7.5 points down. It was lower than that at one point during the day, and so it was the lagger, or is it the leader? Is that an indicator of what we will see from the other indices? Maybe not in the next day, but I would expect over the next couple days we may start to see a pullback in the markets themselves. And I wouldn't say a great pullback. I'll just say, how about this? A down day within the next couple days, at least a down day, to follow the NASDAQ and what it did today. Taking a look at the S&P, though, you can see we're still hanging in there tight. If I drew trend lines, it would be a symmetrical triangle at this point. That just looks like a big move up with a symmetrical triangle, which actually makes that a bull pennant looking formation. I would still expect this to break to the upside. I still am neutral to bullish. It is holding above this 10,500 mark for sure, and above the 10,580-ish level, right around in that area. As I said, symmetrical triangle making a pennant, looking for a break up and above 10,600 for another move to the upside. If I take a look at the daily too, you can see it. I'm going to zoom this in one more month from a 6-month to a 5-month. Show you what we're looking at here. Another sideways day, but this is very common. Look how we run up. A couple of sideways days. This one resolved down. That was that Thursday before the new year. But a quick run up, followed by more sideways movement. Right now, still neutral to bullish. This is bullish behavior. It's a high base formation. And we are up above resistance. Now it is supports holding nicely, and as long as it continues to do this sideways motion, we can continue to look for higher prices. Anything above 10,600, 10,610, somewhere around in that area, would probably give us more bullish behavior towards the upside. That will be where you're looking for your intraday trades. NASDAQ on a 60-minute, you'll see it drop down. Now, it did, like I said, finish down today, showing 10 points here on the NASDAQ. But dropping 10 points today, but nothing's broken here. Still just coming back to fill a gap at about the 1870 mark. The low today was 1873.90, so that's close enough for a gap fill. Might see it completely gap fill at the 1870, 1871 mark down here. But nothing broken from the bull side. Look at a daily of the NASDAQ. You can see still holding this upper channel line. Now that it's broken above it, it is held not once, but now twice as support. This is going to be your first line in the sand to be watching going forward. Next would be a close below 1860. So watch a close below this particular channel line and then a close below 1860. If you're long, that's where you'll probably want to cover your long positions. If you are looking to get short, you're going to want to wait till it gets below this line and or below the 1860 area. NASDAQ on a weekly, still only Wednesday, but a small, tiny little doji again in the markets. Just not seeing much movement these past few weeks consistently. Here's a small move. Here's a small move. Here's a small move. Here's a fairly large move here, followed by now, so far, 2 very small moves. Still Wednesday. Anything can happen before the Friday close. SPX looking very interesting here. Look at the big run up with this kind of sideways to up motion. We've seen this a lot. Obviously resolves down. See the move up and the continued move up, and then a move back down, a move up, continued move up, and a move back down. I can go back and show you 100 of these. They're very thick within the S&P index. So now we're watching this upwards channel. A break of that channel is where you would be looking to maybe enter on a short position. For the more conservative, for an intraday, I'd say below 1132, 1130 on an intraday. For the more conservative, definitely below 1130 and below this 50 period on the 60-minute would be your entry. Holding above this upper channel line here, showing the same type of strength as we're seeing in the NASDAQ, getting up and above heavier overhead resistance and now holding above that, starting to kind of wear itself out here. You can see it kind of slowing down as the candlesticks get smaller and smaller. But as long as it stays up and above this overhead resistance, which should act now as support, it's still neutral to bullish, still have to be neutral to bullish on this market. SPX on a weekly, once again, we are up above this overhead resistance. It's only Wednesday. We'll start looking at that a little bit closer tomorrow night and into Friday. VIX falling today, not as far down, didn't close as far down as I thought it might. I thought it would close all the way down near this big green line on the weekly we'd been watching. It did touch it, but notice how it retreated from it. So for those of you that like to play options, once again, might want to start thinking about some March options on some things. It's simply because the volatility as it comes out of the market makes those options less expensive. Moving on, Apple on a 60-minute down today, $3.41. Once it broke this